In color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord. Peyton Place.
Today is a very special day for the Peyton Place Clarion, and for the readers who have known its history and its two editors, Matthew Swain and now Elliot Carson. Elliot is the father of an 8-pound, 2-ounce boy, a healthy, shouting infant named Matthew. Matthew, gift of God.
Morning.
Good morning. Everything ready to go?
Yes, sir, Mr. Carson.
Okay, let her rip then.
Congratulations, Mr. Carson.
Thanks, thank you. Don't miss any doorsteps either. Here. Compliments of the Clarion.
It's a boy.
Oh, congratulations, Elliot.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
Thank you. Hey, Steve. Betty, I just had to give you one of these things, compliments of the Clarion.
What are you doing at work today?
Today, Mr. Cord, the Clarion has something to sound off about.
Ah, the publisher and the editor of the Peyton Place Clarion, Mr. Elliot Carson, takes full advantage of his position to announce that his beautiful wife, Mrs. Constance Carson, has made him the proudest man in the world, Monday, September 19th, 10:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, a day to remember, by presenting him with an 8-pound, 2-ounce son, Matthew Carson.
Let's see, what was that statute about using a public communications medium for private
Oh,
announcement?
come on. I don't know. But when I told Connie what I was going to do, she said, I'm glad you run a newspaper and not a munitions factory. And you know something? I think she's right, because I feel like just shouting it out to the world. Hey, well!
What was it?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
How's Connie?
Oh, you know, she's anxious to get home and all. I want to thank you very much again for everything you did while I was away.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Well, I won't forget it. I'll see you two. I've got to peddle my papers. So long, Will.
Congratulations.
Isn't it wonderful he can be so happy?
Especially when you know what's eating away at him inside.
Stephen,
What's that?
No.
Then I'll say it. When I walk into court with Lee Weber today, he's not the only one who may have to go on trial. But that's the way it has to be.
Darling, I'm with you.
I know. And I know you didn't feel right about going out to see Mr. Peyton last night. I didn't feel right about asking you to. But we both know what he and my mother are really like now. And it's time to take off the gloves.
Well, I did feel funny going, but... I mean, even though he's the way he is, I can't help feeling something for him. I just didn't like the idea of talking to him to try to find out what he's holding back.
But that's the only reason he asked you to come see him, right? To pump you? To find out what I'm doing while I'm defending Lee Weber that will force him to show his hand once and for all?
Stephen, are you going to call your mother to the stand?
If I have to.
What about Mr. Peyton?
Betty, the only way I'll ever get the truth out of that old curmudgeon is to box him into a corner and beat it out of him. This is the first time I've ever had a club big enough to do the job. And I intend to swing it as hard as I can.
I'm cornered, Hannah, and Stephen knows it. I've got to find out what he's planning.
Well, asking Betty to come here last night was a very foolish way to go about it, Martin.
She's the only person who could persuade him to drop the case.
I could have told you that she wouldn't. Then you never consult me about anything anymore.
You're right, Hannah. I don't. Not after the kind of judgment you displayed in dealing with Anne.
I did what I had to.
You split the fuse that set Stephen off. If I can't compensate in some way for your stupidity, there'll be an explosion in that courtroom that may blow everything to bits. Hannah, you're going to Stephen's office this morning.
Martin.
I insist.
Martin, I can't. I can't talk to him now.
You can and you will.
But why?
Because Stephen's reaction to your leaving town will tell us a great deal.
I'm leaving town.
Yes, Hannah, you're leaving Peyton Place today. But first, you're going to tell Stephen all about it.
I don't understand, Martin.
You don't have to understand. Just do as I tell you. Go to Stephen, tell him you're leaving for New York, that you've developed a nervous condition. You've got to get away. You'll be gone a month, maybe 2. You're not sure.
But what if he insists that I stay here?
Then we'll know he plans to use us at the hearing. But if he makes no effort to keep you from leaving, it means that he has no plans to use us. Either way, we'll know what he's doing.
But maybe he'll know what I'm doing.
Hannah, you've maneuvered Stephen for 28 years. You'll manage him this time. You'll have to.
Yes.
Mr. Cord, your mother's here to see you.
Well, tell her to come in.
Hello, dear.
Mother?
Hi, this is very attractive, isn't it?
I like it.
Did Betty add the touches?
Some of them. Now, what do you want?
Well, I don't quite know how to put it, but I suppose the honest thing to say would be that I want my son.
How can you pretend there's anything left?
Stephen.
Mother, the word sticks in my throat.
I don't have any illusions about your feelings for me.
I have no feelings for you. Now, what do you want?
I'm leaving Peyton Place. I thought you should know.
When?
Today.
Whose idea was that?
But it wasn't anyone's idea. It's a necessity.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But who decided it was a necessity, you or Mr. Peyton?
I really do need to get away, Stephen. I need the rest. My nerves
There's nothing wrong with your nerves. Who else could do what you've done and then walk in here as if nothing had happened?
I'll be in upstate New York, Stephen. Mr. Peyton will know where to reach me if you want me for anything.
I don't think I will.
Stephen, I love you.
I used to lie in bed awake when I was little, wondering why you couldn't tell me that. And now I know. You just can't say it and mean it, can you?
Stephen.
Have a good trip.
Yes, Mr. Cord? Mr. Cord?
Will you place a call to the county clerk, please.
Yes, sir.
And Miss Nolan, please stay on the line. I want you to take a few notes.
Yes, sir.
Law school's difficult under any circumstances. I admire you, Chris.
Why, Mr. Fowler? Because I'm blind?
No, because you're second in your class. What can you tell me about your brother?
I guess you found out enough about Lee. I'm sure you prepared your case.
You do have a close relationship with him, don't you?
Yes, I did have, yes.
You mean until he was arrested?
In a way, but the fact is he is the only family I've got.
So naturally you're hoping to see him go free.
Naturally. It would be strange if I felt any other way about my own brother, wouldn't it?
Well, it depends on whether you think he's innocent or guilty.
It's not up to me to decide that.
No, but you know your brother. You know what he's capable of better than anyone.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Chris. I'm aware that your brother was responsible for your blindness.
I should hate him for that.
But he's all the family you've got.
Right. That seems difficult for you to buy, Mr. Fowler, is it?
No?
But you are disappointed that I don't hate him for blinding me.
Why would I be disappointed?
Well, I know why you call me down here, Mr. Fowler.
You do?
You want to know if I would be a good witness for the prosecution.
Oh, I have enough witnesses, Chris.
I'm sure you do, but you wouldn't mind strengthening your case against Lee by having his own brother testify against him.
Chris. I don't believe your protestations about family. I think you do hate your brother. It would be unnatural if you didn't. And this is a chance to see that he's punished, even though it's for something else.
Well, that's your theory.
And it isn't true?
Well, what difference does it make? If I did testify against Lee, if I were forced to testify against him, I'd have to control my emotions anyway, wouldn't I? Otherwise, the judge might throw out my testimony as that of a, quote, embittered, revenge-seeking blind boy, unquote.
Well, I think you're pretty good at controlling your emotions, Chris. Anyway, this whole discussion's sort of academic. I'm sure Stephen Cord will call you as a witness for the defense.
No, he won't, Mr. Fowler. He won't do that.
What's your hurry, Chris?
Are you going to subpoena me, Mr. Fowler?
Thanks for coming by. Yes?
Who do you think Stephen Cord just asked the county clerk's office to have subpoenaed?
I'll bite.
Mrs. Hannah Cord.
Mrs. Hannah Cord?
Yes?
Subpoena.
Drive on.